one of the interesting computer science sort of fields of research and development over the last decade or so has been utilizing the fact that the human ear can distinguish patterns and gradations of difference at a much higher level than the eye can. What that means is that you take data you've collected digitally, so it ends up being a set of numbers. And instead of trying to do a visualization where you try to make a graph or you try to make a pie chart out of something, you find a way to sonify it, that is, turn it into sound. And that can be kind of resonifying. So, for example, you can collect earthquake data, and then instead of presenting it as some kind of visualization, you turn it back into wave form, but in as sound waves as opposed to earth waves. It turns out that the trained ear can hear differences in data and be able to distinguish between types of earthquakes, for example, simply by hearing them in a way that seeing that data either as numbers or seeing it as some other kind of visualization wouldn't allow you to do. And I'm still struggling with finding ways to work sonification into my classroom practice.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't that the libraries are out there. I just haven't found an example that's you can fit into a week.
Right.
But, we know this, that trained physician can diagnose different kinds of heart ailments simply based on the sound of the valves. And so the idea is to try to take that skill that's inherent in the human and provide that particular sense with data that needs analysis. And I'm really intrigued by that. I think it's a growing field, but I'm still struggling with a way to work it into the classroom, that, my classroom and my 1 week lessons.
Yeah, and if this sounds too abstract for like elementary teachers, this is something that can be done with young kids, whether it's in Sonic Pi or even something like Scratch. Like an easy example is you could take stock market price of a specific stock and assign it to a MIDI note. So when it's $100, assign it to MIDI note 100. When it's $101, assign it to 101. Or you can get into more complicated stuff with like multiple variables. So like assign certain notes to the cholesterol level and then other notes to like blood pressure, and just like going to different parts of health and then listening back to that and going, okay, well, how is this person's health data changing over time? And what are some of the incidents that are impacting when it sounds very different from other moments?
Mm-hmm. And one of my favorite example sites that I usually do show students various points is the site that sonifies Wikipedia.
Mm-hmm.
Wikipedia makes a live stream of the data about changes being made available. And there's a site that turns that into both sound and visualization, so that you'll hear one tone when a new user is created on Wikipedia, and you'll hear another tone when an article is edited, and a third kind of tone when an new article is created. And then there's a certain amount of volume information that codifies, like, for example, how large a change. And it's just, sometimes I just turn it on and listen to Wikipedia being changed. It's great. It's great white noise. It's a beautiful sound, but it is random and musical at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
This excerpt of the CSK8 podcast is from episode 31, which is titled Integration Through Data Analysis and Implications of CS as a Skill with Anne Gunn. You can listen to the full episode as well as hundreds more by simply searching for the CSK8 podcast on your favorite podcast app or by going to jaredoleary.com.